Right now, somewhere in your home, there is a small stack of bills you have paid so many times that you barely even look at them anymore. The power company, the pharmacy, the county tax office. You open them, you pay them, and you move on, the way you have done for years. But here is something that almost no one your age is ever told. 6 of those bills can be cut down, and a few of them wiped out completely, with nothing more than a phone call to the right place. The money is real. It is already set aside for people in exactly your situation. And the only reason you are still paying the full amount is that not one of those companies will ever call you first to say you have been paying too much. So, do one thing for me before we start. Find your phone and keep it right next to you while you watch this. Because by the end, you are going to have a short list of calls that could put thousands of dollars a year back into your pocket. I will take you through all 6, one at a time, in plain words. What each bill is, who gets to stop paying it, and the exact call that fixes it. And I'm saving the biggest one for the very end, because it is the largest check most of you write all year. And the call that brings it down takes about 10 minutes. The first bill is the one climbing the fastest right now, in this heat, and that is your home energy bill, the cost of keeping your house cool. And in these hot months, there are 2 things working in your favor that most people never hear about. First, a growing number of states have made it against the rules for the power company to shut off your electricity during the hottest part of the summer. So if you have fallen behind, they cannot leave an older person without cooling in dangerous heat. Second, there is a program paid for by the government and run by your own state that helps older people pay their heating and cooling bills, and it will even help cover a fan or a window air conditioner. It is called the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. Older people are moved right to the front of the line for it. But here is the part that makes this a call for this week and not someday. The money set aside for summer cooling is smaller than the winter fund, and it runs out in the middle of the season. So the people who call early are the ones who actually get it. The phone call that fixes this one is to your state energy assistance office. And the question is, what cooling help and what shutoff protection is there for a senior on my bill? The second bill is the one you hand over at the pharmacy counter. As of this year, there is a hard limit written right into federal law on how much you can be made to pay out of your own pocket for your covered prescriptions in a whole year. That limit is about $2,100. Once what you have paid for your covered medicine reaches that number, you are done for the rest of the year, and your drug plan has to pay for all of it after that. If you take an expensive medicine, the kind that used to cost people $10,000 or $15,000 a year, that can simply never happen to you again. If money is tight for you, there is a program called Extra Help, run through Social Security, that lowers what you pay for your medicine, your copays at the counter, and even your drug plan premium, often down to just a few dollars. Nobody should be splitting pills in half to save money, while help worth thousands of dollars sits there with their name on it. But it will not come to you. The phone call that fixes this one is to your drug plan or to Social Security, and the question is simple. Am I signed up for Extra Help? And how does the yearly cap on my medicine work? That one call can change what you pay all year long. The third bill comes straight out of your Social Security check every single month, so quietly that most people forget they are even paying it. That is your Medicare Part B premium. This year, it is about $203 a month, which comes to more than $2,400 a year, taken out of your check before you ever see a penny of it. But here is what almost no one knows. If you get by on Social Security and not a lot more, there are programs called the Medicare Savings Programs that will pay that whole premium for you. The money that has been disappearing from your check every month goes right back into it for the rest of your life. A great many people never even check because they decide on their own that they must earn too much to qualify, and they are very often wrong. The limits are higher than most people expect. The phone call that fixes this one is to the office in your state that handles Medicaid. And the question is, do I qualify for a Medicare savings program to pay my Part B premium? If the answer is yes, that is more than $2,400 a year put back in your pocket. The fourth bill is not one that comes in the mail at all. It is the money quietly taken out of your own bank account in fees every single month. A charge just for having the account. Another charge when a payment goes through and your balance is running low. For an older person living on a fixed check, these can add up to well over $100 a year, pulled straight out of your own savings for nothing at all. And here is what the bank will never tell you. Almost every bank has an account with no monthly fee, and many now offer one built just for older customers, with the fees waived. They simply do not move you over to it, because those fees are money in their pocket. The phone call that fixes this one is to your own bank, and the question is, do you have an account with no monthly fee, and will you switch me to it today? One short call can stop money from leaking out of your account for the rest of your life. The fifth bill is one almost nobody thinks to question, and that is your phone and your internet. For a great many older people, this has quietly become one more bill eating into a fixed check every month. But there is a federal program called Lifeline that takes a set amount straight off the cost of your phone or your internet every single month for people who qualify. And most older people living mainly on Social Security do qualify. It is not a fortune, but it is money off the same bill every month, month after month, for as long as you keep the service. On top of that, many phone and internet companies have their own low-cost plans for older customers that they do not advertise because they would rather you keep paying full price. The phone call that fixes this one is to your phone or your internet company, and the question is, do you have the Lifeline discount or a low-cost plan for seniors, and how do I sign up? A few minutes on the phone, and your bill is smaller every month from then on. And the sixth bill, the biggest check most of you write all year, is your property tax. If you own your home, this is very often the single largest bill you face, and it keeps climbing as your home is valued higher, even while your income stays flat. But nearly every state gives people 65 and older a way to fight back, and there are two separate ways to do it. The first is a freeze. The day you qualify, the value your home is taxed on is locked in place. So even as the houses around you keep rising and your neighbors watch their bills grow, yours stays frozen for as long as you live there. The second is a rebate, an actual check sent back to you for part of the property tax you already paid. And in a number of states, those checks are going out to seniors this very summer. Depending on where you live, that check can be worth several $100s, and in some places, well over $1,000. Let me make this one real for a moment. There are people all over this country who have lived in the same paid-off house for 40 years, on nothing but a Social Security check, watching a property tax bill climb past $4,000 or $5,000, and growing more frightened every single year of losing the very home they already own over a bill for taxes. If they simply picked up the phone and asked for the freeze or filed for the rebate, that weight would lift, and much of that money would either stop growing or come straight back to them. But no one at the county has ever once called to tell them the programs were there. The phone call that fixes this one is to your county, and the question is, do you have a property tax freeze, an exemption, or a rebate for seniors? And how do I apply? It may be the most valuable phone call you make all year. Now step back and look at what all 6 of these share, because it is the very same thread running through every one of them. The help is real. The programs already exist, paid for and running, written for exactly your situation. And not a single one of them will ever come looking for you. The power company stays quiet. The county does not knock. The drug plan does not call. The bank says nothing. They are all counting on your silence and on a lifetime of habit that tells you to just pay and just cope and never ask. But that is your money, earned over a whole lifetime of work. And keeping it can be as simple as a few phone calls this week. So here is your list. 6 calls to make this week. 1. Call your state energy assistance office and ask about summer cooling help and shut-off protection for a senior. 2. Call your drug plan or Social Security and ask about extra help and the yearly cap on your medicine. 3. Call the office in your state that handles Medicaid and ask about the Medicare savings programs that pay your Part B premium. 4. Call your bank and ask to be switched to an account with no monthly fee. 5. Call your phone and internet company and ask about the Lifeline discount and any low-cost plan for older customers. And 6. Call your county and ask about the senior property tax freeze, exemption, or rebate. Every one of these is free to ask about, and the exact rules are different in every state, so let each one tell you what you qualify for. This is general information to help you know what to ask for, and it is not legal or tax advice. And I have put where to start for each one of these in the description just below this video. And before you go, think of one person who is quietly overpaying every one of these bills without ever knowing there was another way. A parent, a neighbor, an old friend getting by on a small check. Send them this video. It could put thousands of dollars a year back in their pocket. Then go and make one of these calls for yourself this week and help someone you love make theirs.